Like to give an example, like the resurrection of Christ. I believe that Christ actually was a person. Like as a Christian in Christian theology, we would say that Christ was 100% man, 100% God. It's a paradox, you know. So like it's something that seems like a contradictory, but it's actually not a contradictory. It's not contradictory. So basically, when Christ resurrected, it says that there was 500 witnesses, and then there was like 30 other people, and then they saw him for like a week afterwards. And then there's other people in ancient history who are like writing about the same thing, like, oh yes, this happened. So when I think about that, I think it's an easier explanation. I think for me, it's more reasonable, more believable to believe the accounts of what happened instead of just saying it was like a mushroom or it was like a psychedelic or something like that.
But I think he articulates it pretty well, and they prove that like a lot of people, like when you do psychedelics together, a lot of things happen really well. I think it's pretty valuable, the idea that people even now that do psychedelics either recreational or even through like medically induced, they have some of the most transcendent / like religious experience. They have the most people that aren't religious, are kind of maybe unintelligent to an extent. They have these deep religious like experiences where like these guys fucking were smoking weed, doing whatever. They do some crazy drug and they're like, damn, I believe in God. I don't know what God is. I don't know fucking Jesus. I don't know this, but God is real because this drug taught me this. I think that's an interesting.
I think it's something to think of.
I think there's something.
Yeah,
there.
and I mean, I think it's good that you're thinking about that and you're considering that for sure. But
it's hard for a strong Christian, right?
Yeah, but this is the thing though. It's like I wasn't raised like this. I actually came to it.
Yeah,
myself. Like
good for you. Yeah.
My family. So because I think that like intellectually, there's such a strong argument for like God's existence. And if you think about Christianity compared to other religions, and it's not to like bash other religions because I respect people who are not in my faith. I wouldn't agree with them, but I respect that they have the freedom to do what they want. But I think that the strongest arguments really are for, you know, a God who's not like. So we would say that God is, he's not like one with creation. So he's like, he spoke creation to existence. He didn't like, you know, people may say like in Eastern religions that like, you know, like this tree is God or whatever like that.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard language like that.
Yeah.
Hinduism believes that. We would say no, that's not the case. God and creation are separate. What am I trying to get? Yeah. So the God of the Bible is so unique and the story is so profound. If you read through it, I really would recommend it. Even if you're,
I want to.
Even if you're coming from a
just
perspective.
Some of the words like it's a little like old. It's like written like kind of like old language. It's a little difficult.
Well, there's modern translations. Like I read something
like a modern translation.
I'll get you one, bro.
Okay,
I got
Hook
you.
me up, bro.
I got you.
I'll read it. I want to.
Yeah. So, but if you read I keep going back to this. If you read about the person of Christ, and if you see that, I think the Bible answers a question about man's fundamental problem. Like I think the Bible agrees that men have a tendency to be wicked, that they are wicked. So, like for instance. Like we all have the capacity to do something really horrible.
Yeah, we all have that Hitler. I always say we have that Hitler gene in us.
Exactly.
We do.
So the Bible would offer an answer to that. It would say that Christ actually takes that away from us, takes that guilt and sin.
Yeah.
And that true life is found when we're with Him, like in communion with God. It sounds so strange to someone who's never really heard.
Yeah. But I definitely understand.
And I think
you're definitely being reasonable explaining and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think our history of our faith is not. It's people take religion or Christianity so like throw it out.
Yeah.
You know how valuable this stuff is?
It is valuable.
You know what happened? Like the reason why, like when I was talking about communism earlier, in the Soviet Union, they would like imprison pastors and stuff. Like so, when you take religion away, you take values away.
Yeah.
So, but also like my perspective on life is radically different because I'm a Christian. Like I can go on this podcast and not care about what people think because my identity is not in myself, it's in God. So I don't really care what these people think because I'm living for something, and my meaning is found in something that's way beyond myself. I'm living for something beyond myself.
And that, have you found like, does that make you happier? Does that make it easier to live?
I think I'm one of the most happy people in the world.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think the same too of myself. Yeah. I'm like, fuck, am I supposed to be happy?
Yeah, because I think I found something, I think like, I mean, if you were to consider it, I think you'd find it, I think, beautiful. You found something so wonderful. It's like this idea of, say if you go on top of a mountain, and you're like, wow, this is so beautiful.
Yeah.
This is amazing. And you see people like 100 feet down, and they're like, oh, we love the view we're at right now.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, I feel like I'm at the top of the mountain. I'm telling people, or I'm telling you, hey, come up here. This is the answer. Look how amazing this is. I want you to see how beautiful this is. So that's my perspective when it comes to like sharing my faith with people.
Yeah.
Having this conversation with you.
Oh, interesting.
So, but there's reasons to believe it. And I think that we live in a society that has thrown that out, and it's bad. And there's such an intellectual history with Christianity too. It's actually a very intellectual faith.
I think whether people believe it or not, I think it'd be awesome to learn the history about it and be able to like teach the history and how it's been passed down, and maybe the more like the moralistic values that it's been passed down.
Yeah.
That are that are needed, that are just needed in human life. That you can't debate almost.
Yeah,
some of those things.
Yeah, I think something I want to say too is like, I think faith it's definitely, I have reasons to believe it, but I think ultimately it is faith. Like I'm believing that this is true.
Yeah.
But I think that goes for
you struggle with that.
I've struggled with doubt. I do. Not a lot.